For years, I wrestled with depression and anxiety, feeling like I was constantly treading water, barely keeping my head above the surface. Then, out of nowhere, boom, something shifted. A rapid spiritual awakening hit me like a lightning bolt, cracking me open in ways I never expected. At first, it felt amazing. I was light, free, connected, like I had finally tuned into a higher frequency, one that had been humming beneath the noise all along. But let's be real, I also felt kind of out of it. Like I was floating between worlds, not quite here, not quite there. And with this awakening came a bunch of weird, unexplainable physical symptoms that left me scratching my head. At first, I brushed them off. I mean, life is full of aches and pains, right? But recently, someone dropped a comment asking about these experiences, and it got me thinking, maybe I should share what I went through. Because, as it turns out, I'm not the only one. These symptoms? They're nothing new. A quick dive into spirituality, mysticism, and even ancient traditions shows that people have been reporting these strange experiences for centuries. Take Korean shamans, for example. Before stepping into their spiritual role, they go through something called spirit reception, a period of unexplained physical pain and symptoms with no medical explanation. It's said to be a way of purifying the body, making it a vessel for higher wisdom. Now, I'm not saying I was preparing to become a shaman, though that would make for an interesting plot twist. But during the height of my awakening, I definitely felt some odd shifts in my body. Most weren't intense or unbearable, just inconvenient. But I know that for some, these symptoms can hit like a freight train, especially if there's resistance to change or deep wounds that haven't been healed. Here are 10 symptoms I personally experienced. 1. Headaches that felt like my skull was expanding. Migraines, forehead tension, pressure behind my eyes, you name it. It was as if something inside my head was trying to break free. At the same time, my intuition was sharpening like never before. I started picking up on subtle energies, sensing things before they happened. So yeah, it kind of made sense. After all, the third eye is said to be right there. 2. Feeling unwell for no reason. Some mornings I'd wake up feeling like I had been hit by a truck, exhausted, foggy, drained. No fever, no cold, no real explanation. Just an overwhelming sense of blah. On those days, I'd sleep a lot. Sometimes it lasted a day, sometimes 3. My body just needed rest, so I let it have it. 3. Brain fog that made me forget my own name. Okay, maybe not my name, but definitely my phone number and my address, and entire conversations I'd had earlier in the day. I was floating in this dreamy, blissful state, which felt amazing, until I realized I needed to function in the real world again. That's when grounding became essential. 4. Heart racing, like I'd just run a marathon. I love taking long walks, but suddenly even climbing a short flight of stairs left me breathless. My heart would thump wildly in my chest for no reason. If this had gone on longer, I might have been worried. But just as suddenly as it started, it faded away. 5. Sleep patterns all over the place. Some nights I could sleep for 12 hours straight and still need a nap. Other times, I'd wake up at 3 a.m., wired and buzzing like I had just downed 3 cups of coffee. My body had its own schedule, and I had no choice but to roll with it. 6. Aches, pains, and muscles that felt like they were on strike. One day my back would hurt, the next day my shoulders, then out of nowhere, my legs. It was like my body was trying to realign itself, shaking off old energy. Then came the next wave of changes, ones that hit me deep, shifting how I moved through the world. It wasn't just my body going through a reboot. My mind, my senses, my very way of being started recalibrating. And let me tell you, it was intense. 7. sensitivity to stimulation. It was like someone had cranked up the volume on life, and suddenly I could hear every single note, every discord, every off-key energy that used to blend into the background. I couldn't be around certain people anymore, the ones who thrived on chaos, who lived for drama. Their energy felt loud, like static blaring through a blown-out speaker. It drained me. So I did what felt natural. I pulled back. Not out of anger, not out of judgment, but because my peace had become too precious to trade for noise. 8. A whole new relationship with food. I used to eat whatever I wanted without a second thought. But suddenly, my body had opinions. Strong ones. Red meat? Felt like a brick in my stomach. Dairy? Too heavy, too dense. Junk food? Forget it. It was like my system had developed a built-in lie detector, instantly rejecting anything that wasn't nourishing. Instead, I started craving fresh, light, real food. Veggies, fruits, plant-based meals. Even my old love affair with coffee fizzled out. And sweets? They tasted almost artificial, like my body knew too much to be fooled anymore. 9. Zero tolerance for restrictions. I used to push through anything, jobs that drained me, routines that didn't fit, obligations that felt like chains. But suddenly, I couldn't. My whole being revolted at anything that wasn't in alignment with who I was becoming. Diets? No thanks. Working on something just for the paycheck? Not happening. Forcing myself into a box that didn't fit? Impossible. It wasn't laziness. It wasn't rebellion. It was a deep, undeniable pull toward truth. My truth. And I had no choice but to follow it. 10. TV lost its magic. I used to love zoning out in front of the TV, binge-watching, background noise, mindless entertainment. But now, I can barely sit through an episode without feeling restless, irritated, off. And violent shows? Absolutely not. It's not just that I don't like them anymore, it's that they hurt. Like I can feel every act of aggression, every burst of negativity, sinking into me like a weight I don't want to carry. So, I stopped watching. And honestly, I don't miss it. So, what did I do about all of this? I didn't fight it. I didn't panic. I didn't see it as a problem to be fixed. Instead, I got curious. I watched. I listened. I let my body do what it needed to do. Because at the end of the day, I wasn't breaking down. I was breaking through. Right now, we're all going through rapid, massive shifts. Some days it feels exciting. Other days it's exhausting. And I know I'm not the only one feeling it. So, what about you? Have you noticed weird changes in your body, your mind, your habits? Let's talk about it. Drop a comment, share your experiences. Maybe we can help each other navigate this wild ride. And hey, if this resonated with you, hit the like button so more people can find it. Share it with someone who might need to hear this. And if you're new here, welcome. Subscribe if this is your kind of space. See you in the next one.